Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Seven Sparrows Farm, and today we want to do a follow-up to our water glassing video. If you haven't seen that first video, go ahead and check that out here. It's going to answer a lot of the baseline questions. But we wanted to do this follow-up because you guys have been asking us questions about what water glassing looks like when it's done right and when it's done wrong. So we're going to show you that today. The first thing you need to know is, what do I mean when I say water glassing? What I mean is using hydrated lime and water to preserve your eggs. There are people out there calling things water glassing that are not this. They're using oil, they're using isinglass. That is not what I'm talking about, and I can't speak to any of those processes. So let's just start with this as a baseline. This is what is used when you make corn tortillas. So this is not some industrial product. It's not some weird chemical product, and it's gonna smell like corn tortillas. So when you open your jar, that's what you should be smelling. So that's a first start. How and why does this even work? Well, eggshells are made of calcium, right? And they look solid. They're actually not. They have a lot of pores in them. So when you put them in a solution that is saturated with this hydrated lime, this calcium solution, it's gonna fill in those pores so that the egg doesn't lose anything and the egg doesn't get anything. And that's how we preserve what's inside. Now, if you've watched our first video, when you first mix up that solution, it looks cloudy. It looks like watered down skim milk. But if you've done this right, it's a super saturated solution, which means you're gonna have extra lime in there, and it's actually gonna precipitate out and form a powdery surface on the bottom, and your solution's gonna look clear. Don't freak out, your lime didn't go away, nothing bad happened, it's just settling, and that's exactly what's supposed to happen. So now I want to compare and contrast what water glass eggs should and should not look like. Just for clarity, these two jars were both put up about 3 months ago. Okay, so this is what they should look like. Your water should be clear. Your eggs should look intact. This is a little cold, but there shouldn't be any weird stuff on the surface of the eggs. Now, sometimes you'll see some of the lime settle on them. It'll just look like a powder, and that's totally fine. You'll see lime settled at the bottom. And then if you come over here, I'll show you, this on the top is just calcium crystals. This is totally fine. It feels crystalline. Like you can see, it's like hard. It's not slimy, okay? And that's totally fine. That is natural in a super saturated solution. What is not fine is this next one. This solution is cloudy, which again, they start that way, but they should settle out clear. It's cloudy because I believe this egg right here got a crack in it. And so some of the innards started to come out, and you see this funk that kind of came out of the egg and settled here. That is not normal. And then the water gets cloudy because bacteria is actually growing in it. If I were to open this jar, it would smell not like corn tortillas. It would smell pretty gross. That is why I use small containers. Okay, some people do this in 5-gallon buckets. Hey, more power to you. But if something goes wrong, I don't want to lose 5 gallons worth of eggs. These jars hold 16, 18, maybe 20 small eggs. That's okay. That's an acceptable loss to me. I don't want to lose a big bucket full of eggs. So that's the first reason. The second thing is we always candle our eggs before we put them in our solution, because there might be hairline cracks that you can't see, but if you candle them, they'll light up. So you know not to put them in here. Now, do these still happen? Yeah, you shuffle a jar and something hits the side and it happens. But for the most part, most of them come out okay and your losses end up small. Now let me be clear. This is an extreme example of things going wrong, okay? We have left this and not disposed of it when we first noticed a problem so that we could show you guys what was going on here. Some things you might notice at the very beginning though is when you pull your egg out, you may find a line on it of crystals. That is just where there was a crack and the calcium has come together to try and seal that crack. I personally would not use that egg. If the water's clear though, I would feel comfortable using the rest of the eggs in the container. Now, if the water's cloudy, if anything smells funky, if there's anything coming out of the egg, I'm gonna ditch this whole thing. I'm throwing it away. Okay, now, please, I'm being clear, that's me. People ask, is it safe? The answer is no one's tested. No one has opened the rest of the eggs in the container and tested them for contamination, so I can't tell you what's safe for you. But that's where I draw the line, is if the water is clear and everything smells okay. Just as a side note, if you want more helpful homesteading tips, we do have an email list where we send out stuff that's happening on the farm that we don't always get to make a YouTube video about. So check out that link in the description and the pinned comment. Another question we've gotten is people crack the eggs and they're like, it doesn't look like a fresh egg, has it gone bad? It's a good question. Now, if you were to crack a fresh egg and the yolk were to like fall apart, you'd go, ooh, something's wrong here, right? But just because things don't move into the egg or out of the egg doesn't mean it's going to be exactly like fresh. Now, it's going to act like fresh in your cooking. You can scramble them and all that kind of stuff, but the structures can weaken over time. So that membrane that holds the yolk together can weaken. You might have those fall apart when you open them, but it should not smell. It should not be slimy. So we're going to go ahead and crack one so that you guys can see what they're like. So I'm just going to reach in here. It's going to overflow. So you see my egg is totally intact. There's no funk on the outside. It's not slimy. It feels just like a wet egg. Now, it does have that calcium solution on the outside. And so I personally, I really smell that. And so I rinse these eggs before I use them, but I'm not going to do that here. That's fine. It's not unsafe in any way. Okay. Now, I don't know what's going to happen when we open this. You may also notice that the shell is a lot harder when you crack these eggs, and that's because it's been reinforced with those calcium crystals. So I'm going to go ahead and open this and see how my yolk broke. That's fine. It's fine. It's just because the structures get weakened. And again, these have been in storage for 3 months, but by the time you have them in storage until the following winter, which is usually when we use our water glassed eggs, they may be more fragile, and that's okay. As long as they don't smell funky, you're fine. Another question that we get is it okay to add to this container, over a course of days, weeks, whatever? Yeah, it's totally fine. I've got room in here now, so I may go ahead and throw some nice, clean, fresh eggs in here. The fluid is saturated, so it's gonna have enough calcium to deal with those eggs as well. I wouldn't keep one that I keep adding and using, because you don't want really old eggs sitting at the bottom, but if I'm trying to top up a container over several days, that's totally fine. We love making helpful videos like this, so if you have questions, please put them in the comments. We want to know what you want to know. As always, subscribe, like, share, all the things, and we'll see you guys on the next one.